The stars were quiet as the massive Korvaxian fleet moved through space. Their ships looked like giant metal spiders, dark and threatening. Commander Zerl stood on the bridge of the main ship, his tall gray body covered in medals from past victories. He had led the Korvaxian Empire to conquer 37 planets. He believed nothing could stop them. "What is the next target?" Zerl asked, his voice deep and cold. Officer Vex, smaller and with fewer medals, pointed to a screen showing a small blue planet. "This one, Commander. The locals call it Earth." Zerl made a sound like a laugh. "Another weak world for our collection. Scan it." The crew pressed buttons and pulled levers. Machines hummed as they studied the distant planet. Numbers and pictures appeared on the big screen. "Interesting," said Vex, looking at the results. "This planet has many different types of environments. Deserts, oceans, forests, and icelands, all on one world. And the life forms are very diverse." "Are they advanced?" asked Zerl. "They have basic space travel, simple weapons, and primitive communication systems," Vex replied. "But there's something unusual about their biology." Zerl waved his hand to dismiss the concern. "It doesn't matter. Prepare the scout ships. We'll follow our usual plan." 3 small ships left the main fleet, heading toward Earth to get more information before the invasion. They moved quickly, crossing the space between planets in just a few days. On Earth, Frank Miller was looking at the night sky through his telescope in his backyard in Wyoming. Frank was not a scientist or a soldier. He worked at the local hardware store and watched the stars as a hobby. He was a regular man with a regular life. That was about to change. "That's strange," Frank muttered as he saw 3 fast-moving lights that didn't look like planes or satellites. He adjusted his telescope to get a better look. The objects moved in a way that nothing from Earth could. Frank's hands shook as he reached for his phone and called the local sheriff. "Sheriff's office," answered a tired voice. "This is Frank Miller. I need to report something in the sky. I think they might be spaceships." The sheriff sighed. "Have you been drinking, Frank?" "No, sir. I'm serious. These aren't normal aircraft. They're moving too fast and changing direction too quickly." "All right, Frank. I'll make a note of it." But within an hour, calls were coming in from all over the country. The strange lights were visible to many people now. News channels began to report the sightings. Scientists at NASA confirmed that unknown objects had entered Earth's atmosphere. At the Pentagon, military leaders gathered in an emergency meeting. Major General Samantha Reeves, a tough woman with short brown hair and 30 years of service, looked at the satellite images with a serious face. "Those are definitely not ours, and they're not Russian or Chinese either," she said. "We need to prepare for first contact, and it might not be friendly." The president authorized worldwide alerts. Armed forces around the globe went on high alert. Meanwhile, the scout ships took positions over major cities, just watching and recording. In his laboratory at the Centers for Disease Control, Dr. Alan Carter was called in for an urgent meeting. He was a microbiologist who specialized in how diseases spread. He didn't understand why he was needed for an alien situation until his boss explained. "If these are aliens, we need to understand how their biology works and how Earth's environment might affect them," his boss said, "and how they might affect us." As Dr. Carter began to assemble his team, the Korvaxian scout ships collected their data and sent it back to Commander Zerl. "The planet has valuable minerals and water," reported the scout leader. "The dominant species seems organized, but their weapons are no match for ours." "Any concerns?" asked Zerl. "The atmosphere has an unusual mix of gases and microscopic life forms we haven't seen before." Officer Vex frowned. "Commander, maybe we should study these microbes before." "Enough," Zerl interrupted. "We have conquered worlds far more dangerous than this. Prepare the invasion fleet. We attack in 3 days." The Korvaxians had no idea what waited for them on the blue planet. They truly believed they were invincible. Earth was about to prove them wrong. The world changed overnight. People everywhere knew aliens were real and watching Earth. Some people ran to stores to get food and supplies. Others prayed. Most just waited and worried. Major General Samantha Reeves stood in the White House Situation Room. Maps and screens covered the walls. Military leaders and scientists sat around a long table. "We have confirmed at least 20 alien ships in orbit," she said. "3 smaller ships are moving through our atmosphere." The president looked tired. "What are our options, General?" "We can try to communicate, or we can prepare to fight," she answered. "But honestly, sir, if they want to attack, we're at a disadvantage. Their technology is far beyond ours." Dr. Alan Carter raised his hand. He was not used to military meetings. "Sir, I have a theory. These aliens evolved on a different planet with different biology. Earth might be dangerous to them in ways we don't expect." The room went quiet. The president nodded. "Explain." "Our air has microbes. Tiny life forms like bacteria and viruses. Our bodies are used to them. The aliens might not be. What's harmless to us could be deadly to them." General Reeves leaned forward. "Are you saying Earth itself might be a weapon?" "Possibly," Dr. Carter said. "I need samples from the aliens to know for sure." "Getting those samples might be difficult," said the president. "But it's worth trying. General Reeves, prepare your forces. Dr. Carter, assemble whatever team you need." As the meeting ended, alarms sounded. A military officer rushed in. "Sir, the aliens are landing. Multiple ships descending on major cities." In Wyoming, Frank Miller watched the news with his neighbors. The TV showed a large ship hovering over Denver, about 2 hours from his town. "We should leave," said his neighbor. "Go somewhere remote." Frank shook his head. "I think nowhere is safe now." His phone rang. It was the sheriff. "Frank, the Army is evacuating our area. They believe the aliens might land here because it's less populated. A bus will pick you up in 30 minutes." Frank grabbed a bag and packed quickly. Clothes, food, his medicine, and a photo of his late wife. As he waited outside, he saw military vehicles racing down the main street. On the Korvaxian mothership, Commander Zirl reviewed the invasion plan. "We will land in less populated areas first to establish bases, then move to the cities." Officer Vex looked worried. "Commander, the atmospheric analysis shows high levels of biological particles. Our troops should wear protective suits." Zirl made an angry noise. "Protective suits slow our soldiers down. We haven't needed them on other worlds." "This world seems different," Vex insisted. "At least let the first wave wear them." "Fine," Zirl said. "The first wave only. We'll see if your concern has any merit." The first Korvaxian ship landed in a field outside Denver. Soldiers in sleek armor marched out, their weapons ready. Half wore protective suits as ordered. They began to build a base, setting up strange machines. Within hours, U.S. military forces surrounded the area from a distance. Helicopters circled. Tanks took positions behind hills. General Reeves watched from a command center nearby. "Don't engage unless they attack first," she ordered. "We need to see what they do." Dr. Carter and his team set up equipment to monitor the air around the alien base. "Look at this," he said to his assistant. "The aliens are releasing some kind of gas to change the atmosphere around their camp." "Why would they do that?" the assistant asked. "They're trying to make it more like their home world," Dr. Carter replied. "Which confirms my theory. Our environment is hostile to them." At sunset, something unexpected happened. Some aliens without protective suits began to show signs of distress. They moved slowly and seemed to have trouble breathing. 3 collapsed. The Korvaxian leader ordered the affected soldiers back to the ship. He sent an urgent message to Commander Zirl: "Unknown pathogens in Earth's atmosphere affecting unprotected troops. Request immediate medical support and full protective measures for all forces." Zirl received the message with disbelief. How could invisible particles cause his mighty warriors to fall? He ordered all troops to wear protective suits and sent medical teams to help. It seems Officer Vex was right. he admitted grudgingly. This planet has unexpected defenses, but no matter, we will adapt and conquer, as we always do. He didn't know that Earth was just beginning to show its deadly potential. 3 days after the first landing, the situation changed dramatically. The Korvaxians had set up bases in 5 locations around the world: Colorado, Siberia, the Australian outback, the Sahara Desert, and the Amazon rainforest. But they were having problems. In the command center near Denver, General Reeves studied the reports from all sites. The aliens in the Amazon base were suffering the most. Almost half of their soldiers were sick. "Dr. Carter, explain what's happening," she said. Dr. Carter pointed to pictures on the screen. "The Amazon has the most diverse collection of microbes on Earth. The aliens' immune systems have never seen anything like it. Their protective suits help, but they can't stay in them forever." "Can we use this?" asked General Reeves. "Yes," Dr. Carter nodded. "We can collect the most harmful microbes and concentrate them. It would be like a biological weapon, but we're not creating anything new, just using what Earth already has." General Reeves thought for a moment. "Do it. And we need to test their military strength. It's time to engage." She gave the order. Near each alien base, Earth's military forces began small attacks. They didn't try to destroy the bases, just test the aliens' weapons and tactics. In Colorado, U.S. fighter jets flew over the alien base. The Korvaxians fired energy weapons that moved faster than bullets. 2 jets were hit and crashed, but the pilots ejected safely. "Their weapons are powerful, but not perfect," General Reeves noted, "and they seem slower than expected in their protective suits." Frank Miller was now at an evacuation center in a high school gym. Hundreds of people slept on cots and worried about the future. Frank volunteered to help serve food and comfort children. When he heard that the military needed local guides who knew the land, he signed up. "I've hunted these mountains all my life," he told the Army captain. "I know every trail and cave." "Good," said the captain. "We need people who can move quietly and know where to hide." On the Korvaxian mothership, Commander Zerl was angry. The invasion was behind schedule. His soldiers were getting sick despite their protective suits. The humans were fighting back more effectively than expected. "We need to change our approach," said Officer Vex. "This environment is more dangerous than we thought." "No," shouted Zerl. "We are Korvaxians. We have never failed. Send more troops and stronger weapons. We will crush these humans quickly." Vex looked doubtful, but followed orders. More ships descended to Earth, carrying thousands more soldiers and bigger weapons. At the Denver base, the Korvaxian leader ordered an attack on the nearest human city. 100 alien soldiers marched out, supported by floating machines that carried heavy weapons. General Reeves was ready. She had positioned forces all around the alien base. As soon as the aliens moved out, she ordered the attack. Fighter jets dropped bombs. Tanks fired from hidden positions. Special forces teams used new weapons designed by Dr. Carter, grenades that released concentrated Earth microbes. The battle was intense. The aliens' energy weapons destroyed tanks and killed soldiers. But the humans had numbers and knowledge of the land. And the microbial weapons worked better than expected. When they exploded near aliens, even those in protective suits became disoriented and weak. After 2 hours of fighting, the aliens retreated to their base. They had lost 30 soldiers and several machines. The humans had lost more, but they considered it a victory. They had proven the aliens could be fought. In his laboratory, Dr. Carter examined a captured alien weapon and a damaged protective suit. The suit had tiny holes from the battle. Through these holes, Earth's microbes had entered. "We need to make weapons that can puncture their suits," he told General Reeves. "Even small holes will let our microscopic allies in." On the mothership, Commander Zerl received the battle report with shock. How could his forces be defeated? It was impossible. He slammed his fist on the control panel. "Prepare my ship," he ordered. "I will lead the next attack myself." These humans will learn to fear the Korvaxian Empire. Officer Vex watched with worry. The commander was making a dangerous mistake. Earth was not like other worlds they had conquered. Earth was fighting back in ways they had never seen before. A week after the first battle, the war had spread across the globe. The Korvaxians attacked cities in every continent. They destroyed buildings and bridges with their energy weapons. People ran from their homes, looking for safety. But the aliens were still getting sick. Even with their protective suits, Earth's microbes found ways to reach them. Their soldiers moved more slowly each day. Their attacks became less organized. Commander Zeryl's personal ship landed at the Denver base. He stepped out wearing a special suit with extra protection. His tall body moved stiffly as he surveyed the damage from recent battles. "This is unacceptable," he told the base leader. "Why are we not advancing? These humans are primitive compared to us." The base leader bowed his head. "Commander, the environment here is hostile in ways we didn't expect. Our soldiers are falling ill despite protection." "Excuses," Zeryl shouted. "I will show you how to conquer this world." He ordered a massive attack on Denver for the next day. All available troops and weapons would be used. The humans would finally see the true power of the Korvaxian Empire. In the military command center, General Reeves received the news from her spies. "They're planning something big for tomorrow," she told her officers. "We need to be ready." Dr. Carter entered with new information. "General, we've analyzed more of their biology. The aliens are even more vulnerable than we thought. They have no resistance to common Earth viruses like the cold or flu." "How can we use that?" asked General Reeves. "We've created aerosol sprays containing concentrated cold viruses. If we can get these inside their bases or ships, it could incapacitate many of them quickly." General Reeves nodded. "We'll use this in our defense tomorrow. And I want Frank Miller's team to attempt to plant these inside their Denver base tonight." Frank led a small team of soldiers through the mountains. They knew paths that weren't on any maps. By midnight, they reached a ridge overlooking the alien base. "There's a ventilation system on the east side," Frank whispered, pointing. "Their air filters are visible from here." The team moved carefully down the slope, avoiding alien patrols. When they reached the base perimeter, they used special equipment to detect the security systems. "They have motion sensors," said one soldier, "but they're set for larger movements. If we move very slowly, we might avoid detection." Frank went first, crawling inch by inch toward the ventilation system. It took him 30 minutes to cover 100 yards. When he reached the air filters, he attached a small device that Dr. Carter had designed. It would slowly release Earth viruses into the base's air system. "Device planted," Frank whispered into his radio as he began the slow crawl back. Timer set for 4 hours. By dawn, Frank's team had returned safely to the human lines. Troops were in position around Denver, ready for the alien attack. Dr. Carter's viral weapons had been distributed to all soldiers. The attack began at sunrise. Hundreds of Korvaxian soldiers marched from their base, supported by floating weapons platforms. Commander Zeryl led them, his personal guards around him. General Reeves watched from her command post. "Hold positions," she ordered. "Let them come to us." The aliens advanced into Denver's suburbs. They seemed confident, firing at empty buildings, destroying everything in their path. Then the human forces emerged from hiding. Tanks fired from behind hills. Helicopters appeared from behind buildings. Soldiers rose from trenches and bunkers. The battle was fierce. Alien energy weapons cut through tanks. Human bullets bounced off alien armor. But the aliens were moving more slowly than before. Some stumbled or paused to catch their breath. Inside the alien base, the virus device activated. Concentrated cold viruses spread through the air system. The aliens left behind to operate the base began to cough and struggle to breathe. On the battlefield, Commander Zeryl noticed his troops' communications becoming confused. The base wasn't responding to calls. His soldiers were performing below standard. "What is happening?" he demanded. As if in answer, A soldier near him collapsed. His breathing labored even inside his protective suit. Then another fell. And another. For the first time in his long career of conquest, Commander Zirl felt something new. Doubt. The mighty Korvaxian Empire had never faced a world like Earth before. A world where even the invisible things in the air could fight back. The battle for Denver turned into a disaster for the Korvaxians. By midday, half their forces were too sick to fight. Commander Zirl ordered a retreat, something he had never done before. His personal guards had to help him back to the base, as he too began to feel the effects of Earth's viruses. Inside the base, things were worse. The ventilation system had spread Dr. Carter's viral weapon throughout every room. Aliens lay on the floor, struggling to breathe. Medical teams worked frantically, but they had no cure for Earth's diseases. "We must return to the mothership," Zirl's second-in-command urged. "Our forces need time to recover and develop protections against these biological weapons." Zirl wanted to refuse, but he could barely stand. "Prepare for evacuation," he finally ordered. "But we will return. This is not over." As the aliens loaded their sick onto ships, human forces watched from a safe distance. General Reeves didn't order an attack. "Let them go," she said. "We've won this battle without more bloodshed." Around the world, similar scenes played out. In the Amazon, the Korvaxian base was completely overrun by disease. In Australia and the Sahara, the aliens retreated after losing too many soldiers to illness. Only in Siberia, where the cold weather limited some microbial growth, did they maintain a foothold. Frank Miller stood with General Reeves as they watched the alien ships rise into the sky. "Is it over?" he asked. "No," she replied. "They'll be back with better protection. This was just the first round." Dr. Carter arrived with new information. "We captured some of their medical equipment. They're trying to develop vaccines against our microbes, but it will take time. We have weeks, maybe a month, before they can return with better defenses." "Then we need to prepare," said General Reeves. "How can we make Earth even more hostile to them?" For the next 3 weeks, humans around the world worked together like never before. Scientists shared information freely. Armies trained together. Regular people like Frank helped in any way they could. Dr. Carter led a team that developed new biological weapons, concentrated mixtures of the microbes that made the aliens sickest. Soldiers were equipped with special guns that could spray these mixtures onto alien suits or into their ships. Engineers studied captured alien technology and found ways to disable their shields. Hackers worked to break into their communication systems. In space, the Korvaxian mothership orbited Earth at a safe distance. Inside, Commander Zirl had recovered from his illness, but not from his anger. The medical bay was full of sick soldiers. For the first time, the mighty Korvaxian Empire had been pushed back. "How much longer until our troops are ready to return?" Zirl demanded. Officer Vex checked the reports. "The medical team has developed vaccines against the most common Earth microbes, and the engineering team has improved our protective suits. But they need more time to test everything." "We don't have more time," Zirl shouted. "Every day we wait, the humans grow stronger. They are studying our technology, learning our weaknesses. Perhaps we should consider abandoning this conquest," Vex suggested carefully. "This planet may be too biologically hostile for." "Never." Zirl slammed his fist down. "We have never failed to conquer a world, and we will not fail now. Prepare the troops. We attack in 3 days, ready or not." "Yes, Commander," Vex replied, but his doubt was clear. On Earth, the first warning came from a network of amateur astronomers that Frank Miller had helped organize. They noticed increased activity around the mothership. "They're coming back," Frank told General Reeves over the phone. "Our spotters see dozens of ships preparing to launch." General Reeves called an emergency meeting. "All right, people, this is it. The real test begins now. They know what they're up against this time. They'll be better prepared." Dr. Carter nodded. So will we. Around the world, humans readied themselves for the second wave. In cities and towns, people moved to underground shelters. Military forces took positions around likely landing sites, and everyone knew that their strongest weapon was the planet itself. Earth was fighting with them. The Korvaxian ships returned to Earth with a roar that shook the skies. This time, they didn't land in remote areas. They went straight for major cities: New York, Moscow, Beijing, London, and Rio de Janeiro. People ran as the massive ships hovered overhead. Commander Zeril led the attack on New York personally. His new protective suit was thicker and had better filters. All his soldiers wore similar suits. They had been vaccinated against the Earth microbes that had made them sick before. This time, we will crush them quickly, Zeril told his troops. No mercy. The aliens landed in Central Park and began to move outward. Their weapons destroyed buildings and cars, but they found the streets empty. The humans had evacuated most people from the city center. In her command center beneath the Pentagon, General Reeves watched the attacks through camera feeds. They're better protected now, she noted. Our biological weapons won't work as easily. Dr. Carter nodded. But we have new tricks. The delivery systems are ready. Yes, she replied. All teams are in position. In New York, as the aliens moved through the empty streets, they didn't notice small devices attached to buildings and street lights. These devices began to spray a fine mist into the air. The mist contained new microbes that Dr. Carter's team had found in the deepest parts of the ocean and in volcanic hot springs, life forms that the aliens had never encountered and couldn't have prepared for. Frank Miller was now part of a special team in New York. They moved through the subway tunnels beneath the aliens, placing more of Dr. Carter's devices. Frank had never been to New York before, but he learned the tunnel system quickly. Plant them near air vents and exits, the team leader instructed. The aliens will pass through these areas. Above ground, the Korvaxians began to notice something strange. Their suit sensors detected unknown biological particles in the air, but their vaccines and filters seemed to be working. They continued their advance. Then the humans appeared. Soldiers wearing special gear attacked from side streets and buildings. They didn't try to fight the aliens directly. Instead, they used weapons that damaged the aliens' protective suits, special bullets that could pierce the material, sprays that dissolved the seals, and sonic devices that cracked the helmets. Commander Zeril was surprised by the humans' tactics. Keep advancing, he ordered. They cannot stop us with these minor attacks. But the damage to the suits was the real goal. Through tiny holes and cracks, Earth's new microbes entered. These weren't common cold viruses that the aliens had vaccinated against. These were strange life forms from extreme environments, with structures the Korvaxian immune systems had never encountered. The first signs of trouble came 3 hours into the attack. Alien soldiers began to stumble. Some reported burning sensations on their skin. Others had trouble breathing. It's happening again, reported a squad leader. Different symptoms, but our soldiers are getting sick. In Moscow and Beijing, the situation was similar. In Rio de Janeiro, where the Amazon's incredible biodiversity had been weaponized, the aliens were already retreating. Only in London, where heavy rain had washed away many of the microbial weapons, were the Korvaxians advancing successfully. Commander Zeril received the reports with growing anger. This is impossible. We prepared for their biological weapons. Officer Vex, who had remained on the mothership, responded. Commander, Earth has millions of different microbes. We could not prepare for all of them. Zeril looked around at his troops. Many were now visibly ill, even in their improved suits. His own skin was beginning to itch, and his breathing felt labored. We will not retreat again, he declared. Send all remaining forces to London. We will establish our foothold there, then adapt and expand. As the aliens began to pull back from New York, Frank's team emerged from the tunnels to watch them go. They're leaving. Someone cheered. Not leaving, Frank said quietly. Regrouping. This fight isn't over yet. In the command center, General Reeves came to the same conclusion. They're concentrating on London. Get word to the British forces. They'll need everything we've got. Dr. Carter looked worried. And I need to find even more exotic microbes. They're adapting faster than I expected. The battle for Earth was entering a new phase. The Invincible Corvaxians had been pushed back again, but they weren't defeated. And Commander Zerl was growing more desperate, which made him more dangerous. London became the center of the war. The Corvaxians poured all their remaining troops and resources into the city. They built a large base in Hyde Park, with energy shields to keep out the rain and air filters to remove Earth's microbes. Commander Zerl established his command center there, directing operations while medical teams worked to find cures for the new illnesses affecting his troops. His own health was failing, but he refused to return to the mothership. "We will not be defeated by invisible enemies," he told his officers. "Our scientists will solve this problem." British forces, supported by troops from around the world, surrounded the city. They didn't attack directly. Instead, they waited and watched, looking for weaknesses in the alien defenses. General Reeves flew to London to coordinate with British military leaders. "They've chosen the worst possible place to make their stand," she told them. "London is one of the oldest human cities with layers of history and bacteria built up over thousands of years." Dr. Carter was with her, bringing his latest biological weapons. "We've been collecting samples from London sewers and underground," he explained. "Some of these microbes have evolved in isolation for centuries." Frank Miller had also come to London as part of the Special Operations Team. His experience in the New York subway tunnels had proved valuable. Now he studied maps of London's vast underground system, the tube stations, sewers, and forgotten tunnels that ran beneath the city. "There are passages that go right under Hyde Park," he told the team. "Some of them haven't been used in 100 years. The plan came together quickly. While the aliens focused on defending against attacks from above, special teams would enter through the underground tunnels. They would plant new biological devices directly beneath the alien base, releasing microbes into their water and air systems. The mission began at midnight. Frank led one of 5 teams entering different tunnels. They moved silently through the darkness, using night vision goggles to see. The tunnels were narrow and wet, with rats scurrying away from their lights. Frank's team reached a point directly beneath the alien base after 2 hours of careful movement. They could hear the hum of alien machinery above them. "This is the spot," whispered the engineer on the team. "The ground is thin here." They set up a drilling machine that made almost no noise. It cut slowly through the earth and concrete, creating a small hole that led into the base's lower level. Then they attached a device to the hole, a pump that would slowly release Dr. Carter's microbes into the alien base. "Device is active," the engineer confirmed. "Now we get out of here." Similar devices were planted by the other teams at different points around the base. None of the teams were detected. By morning, the new microbes were spreading through the alien base. These were organisms from the deepest parts of London's history, bacteria that had evolved in isolation, viruses that had been dormant for centuries, molds that grew in the ancient tunnels. The effect was devastating. The aliens' vaccines and filters were useless against these unknown life forms. Within hours, soldiers began to collapse. Medical teams were overwhelmed. Even the commanders fell ill. On the mothership, Officer Vex received increasingly desperate calls for help. "The situation is critical," reported the medical chief. "Unknown pathogens are affecting all personnel. Commander Zerl is severely ill but refuses evacuation." Vex made a difficult decision. "Prepare a rescue team. We will extract the commander and any troops who can be saved. The rest must be abandoned." As alien ships descended to evacuate their forces, human troops finally moved in. They wore special protective gear designed by Dr. Carter, not to protect from the aliens, but to protect from the biological weapons they had released. They found the aliens in chaos. Many were too sick to resist. Others surrendered immediately, hoping for medical treatment. Only a few fought back. In the command center, they found Commander Zerl. The once proud Korvaxian leader was barely conscious, his gray skin now covered in spots and lesions. "How?" he asked weakly when General Reeves stood before him. "How did you defeat the greatest empire in the galaxy?" "We didn't," she replied. "Earth did." As rescue ships took the surviving aliens away, humans reclaimed London. The great Korvaxian invasion was ending, not with a spectacular battle, but with a retreat forced by the smallest life forms on Earth. 3 months after the Korvaxians retreated from Earth, life began to return to normal. Cities damaged in the fighting were being rebuilt. People returned to their homes and jobs. But the world had changed forever. Humans now knew they were not alone in the universe, and that other beings might come someday. General Reeves led a new organization called Earth Defense Force. Militaries from all countries worked together now, preparing for any future threats from space. They studied captured alien technology, learning its secrets. "We've made incredible progress," she told world leaders at a meeting in Geneva. "We now understand their energy weapons and shield systems. In a few years, we will be able to build our own." Dr. Carter continued his research on microbes that could protect Earth. His team created an early warning system that would release specific bacteria and viruses if alien ships were detected. "Earth's natural defenses are our greatest strength," he explained. "No alien species will have immunity to our biological diversity. And now we know how to use it." Frank Miller returned to Wyoming, but not to his old life. He now led a volunteer group that watched the skies and reported anything unusual. Similar groups formed around the world, creating a network of civilian observers. "We need to be ready," he told new volunteers. "The Korvaxians might come back, or others might come. Regular people like us can help protect Earth." In a secure facility in Nevada, Commander Zerl remained in quarantine. Earth's doctors had managed to keep him alive, but he was still sick from multiple infections. He was the only Korvaxian who hadn't been evacuated. General Reeves visited him occasionally, asking questions about his empire and other alien civilizations. At first, he refused to answer. But over time, as he realized he would never leave Earth, he began to share information. "There are many species traveling between stars," he told her during one visit. "Some are peaceful traders. Others, like us, seek to conquer. All will find Earth difficult." "Because of our microbes?" she asked. "Because of your planet's unusual biological complexity," he replied. "Most worlds have simple life forms. Yours has millions of different types, all competing and evolving. It makes Earth uniquely dangerous." On the Korvaxian mothership, now far from Earth, Officer Vex had taken command. Most of the invasion force had died or remained too sick to function. Those who survived would carry the effects of Earth's microbes for the rest of their lives. Vex called a meeting of the remaining officers. "We must report our findings to the Empire," he said. "Earth must be marked as a forbidden world, too dangerous to approach." "The High Command will not be pleased," said one officer. "We have never failed before." "We didn't fail," Vex replied. "We discovered a natural hazard. Earth is not a normal planet. It is a biological weapon." The Korvaxian fleet began the long journey home, leaving Earth behind. They sent warning signals to all their outposts, advising all ships to avoid the small blue planet and its deadly microscopic defenders. As years passed, Earth changed. Human technology advanced rapidly, incorporating ideas from alien devices. Space programs expanded, with the first bases built on the Moon and Mars. The planet's governments worked together more than ever before. Frank Miller watched these changes from his home in Wyoming. 10 years after the invasion, he stood in his backyard with his telescope, just as he had on the night he first spotted the alien ships. Now he had better equipment and was training a new generation of sky watchers. "See that star?" he told a group of children. "There might be other worlds around it. Maybe someday we'll visit them." "Aren't you afraid of aliens?" a young girl asked. Frank smiled. No, we learned something important when they came here. They thought they were invincible until they landed on Earth. Our planet protected us then, and it always will. High above, invisible to the naked eye, automated satellites monitored the space around Earth. They were ready to warn of any approaching ships. And beneath them, the quiet defenders of Earth continued their ancient work, the countless microbes that had evolved over billions of years, making the planet uniquely theirs and uniquely dangerous to any who would threaten it. Earth remained safe, guarded by its smallest inhabitants.